this. Okay. So I'm going to cut off enough clay to roll out a slab. And here's my shoes, my templates. I just shrunk them down 70%. So they're actually about 7 inches long, which is perfect for me. I'm just guessing with how much to bring off. There is a little bit of there's some math you could do to figure out how much to wedge, but I just want to do this quickly, so I'm not going to really go over that. But yeah, so we'll wedge some clay, and this clay is going to pick up some little red bits from the table. I'll do this about 20 times, I guess. Okay. We don't lose my camera. All right. So I'm not sure if you guys remember when you roll out slabs, you want to have them even. And I asked you to roll them out to about 3/8 of an inch, 1/4 of an inch, 3/8 of an inch. 1/2 an inch is okay too if you feel like you need to have it thick. But to me, it just makes it look like the shoe's a brick. Okay. All right, so I'm going to use my rolling pin to start rolling it out. Roll it this way too. Flip it over. You got to flip it a lot. And you want to pay attention to the direction you want it to roll, because if you want, hey, thank you so much.
Happy Fat Tuesday.
Are you saying I'm fat? What? I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about. I was chef. He brought me, I forget what they're called. A beignet, that's what it's called. All right, so starting to get thin enough that I now have to start really paying attention to the thickness of the clay. And so I can lay down my Sharpies or my pens or pencils or whatever I have. I'm gonna grab 2 pencils. If any of you go to Home Depot, the paint sticks, if you get 4 paint sticks, if you put 2 of them together on top of each other, they make the perfect thickness. I wanted to do that for your kids, but they weren't going to give me, I guess that would have been like 1,000 of those things. So for 800. I keep working on this. And you want your slabs to all be the same thickness. So you can roll them all out, or you can work one at a time. With my space, I think one at a time is going to be the best. So I know I'm at school right now, but I'm usually at home. So I have to think about that. Okay. A little thick there. All right. And then you have to compress the clay. You need to use your smooth rib, and you want to compress the clay. It looks pretty now. Okay. That's going to give you less trouble when you, hey, lots of visitors today. Less trouble when you start working with it. So right now my clay is too floppy for my shoe, and this is what I was talking about. But it's this is too floppy for the sides. If I want to use this, I wonder if I can cut out maybe I might be able to get both those out of this. So what I'm going to do, because I'm working on a wood board, is I'm going to move it around and let the wood absorb the water from the clay. If you have a piece of newspaper, you can put it on a piece of newspaper. And then I'm going to cut these out. They're no good to me if they're still in the big sheet of paper. I have to cut them out and turn them into a real template here. So if I could put that there, and maybe, and I'm going to need 2 of these. Whoop, come on, camera. Get that zoomed in. There we go. I need 2 of these. I mean, I only need 1 for my template, but I'll need 2 pieces cut from clay. See how this works. Ooh, it's a close one. I think just barely I can get 2 out of there. These 2, the bottom and one side. So that'll work. Okay. Another thing, mine has grommets, so I want to make sure that my grommets are all in the same place. I'm going to put a hole wherever it shows up. Since they're going to, each side is going to have the same amount of grommets in the same location. I want to make sure I don't have to guess. So that'll work. All right. I'm going to go with this. I'm going to draw the outline, draw and then cut. And this is 3/8 of an inch. This is actually fatter than the pencil. I did that on purpose. So close. I know it fits. There we go. And then I'm going to cut these out. And I can use my knife tool. I can use my toothpick. I can use my smooth rib. So I'm looking around quickly to see if I have any of those things nearby. Okay, so I'm going to cheat and use my metal smooth rib. There we go. Perfect. All right, so this will be my bottom of my shoe. Okay, that works. And then here is my side. My side's pretty floppy, but I'm going to go ahead and cut it out. If you are noticing that your clay is pulling and stretching as you're cutting it, then maybe you need to let it firm up a little bit more. You do not have to cut them the same day you roll them out. I'm just doing that so I can have this recording to give you, like, that's terrible right there, huh? It's my pencil to cut. All right, look at that. Oh, you can't see the whole thing, but it's gonna work pretty good, I think. Now, it doesn't go all the way around because I have a back piece here, and then I'm gonna have a toe piece here, right? And this is a little thicker than I would want, like at the top of the shoe, because when you compare it to the actual shoe, let me grab that. Like this is definitely gonna look like a brick compared to what's happening here. You know what I forgot to do? I forgot to include the grommets. I mean, that might change anyway later, but just to give me an idea where things are located. Okay, so I have a couple options. I could just attach it straight on top. Okay, and you know what? This is fine. This is not falling over like in a weird way. I actually think structurally it'll be okay, and it's probably because of the thickness of the clay, because I kept it kind of thick. But I could put it right on top, score, slip, wiggle around a little bit, and then blend it, and then it's gonna stay. But the best way is for, you know, my advance, you might remember us doing the slab boxes, maybe because it was such a whirlwind last year, if you were in my class last year. But cutting it at an angle, same thing we kind of did for the mug too. If you make this an angle, a 45-degree angle, then it will attach a little better. So you're less likely to have cracks developed. So this is basically a 45-degree angle, and then this is a 45-degree angle on the inside. If this is confusing to you, you can just stick it, put this piece right on top of your sole there. And then these will come together. And one of the videos, one of the videos that's in the presentation, they go over this too. That looks great. Now, before I start attaching this, check my time. Before I start attaching this, I do want to put this down like on a piece of plastic or something. And if you have a board, that's great. But you want to make sure that you're not trying to pick it up after it's attached and move it around like this. If you have a clipboard, that would be awesome. I wish I had given you guys clipboards now. Darn it. So you can get these at the dollar store though. So a clipboard and a piece of plastic. I mean, so it's easier for me to see. All right, do that. And then I'm gonna score this, slip, agitate, and smooth. Get that attached. I'm just looking around for stuff that I can do that with. Here we go. Score. So my little plastic knife is working well. My metal one I've been using a lot is at school or at home. All right. And I don't have any slip here, so I'm actually just going to use water. A little bit of water. Just to get some moisture there. Don't have to go crazy. Now I want to make sure I cover this with you because the next part is really important after we get this attached. I'm pushing up against my 2 pieces of clay to really get them to fill in. Now it's starting to flop a little bit, which is all right. And then I want to blend the inside. I'm going to use the end of my fork to see if I can just kind of blend the inside. I may have to put a coil in here. At the moment, I think this will be okay. And I know I said be careful about picking it up and moving it around, but we still, this is another reason to make yours smaller. Look at that, that's just gonna fall apart. So we really do need to make sure that gets blended. That gets blended. All right. Okay, that didn't take too much. Now this is going to keep falling unless I support it. And while it's falling, it's going to tear that connection. So I need to get something in here to prop it up. I need some paper, some newspaper, or some copier paper balled up in a piece of plastic to prop this up. If you have like a tube or something, that will work. Anything that's paper though is going to it's going to start to break down because of the water in the clay, right? And it's also going to start drying out the clay if you don't have a plastic barrier. So I'm just looking, I could even, if I wanted to, I could just use plastic and just shove that in there like that. Yeah. I could also take my leftover scraps, all that up. You don't want to just put it like that. You still want to create, you don't want it to accidentally get attached. You still would want to create a little wall, a little barrier there. Okay. And now I can just wrap this all up. Okay. I don't want to lose my template now. Okay. All right. I'm going to stop recording and you can ask your questions.